all of their fathers came from where? From Egypt with Moses.
Right.
Showing that these Corinthians, they all have what? Common ancestry back going to the Jews that came out of Egypt. Showing you that these people who were Gentiles in the 12th chapter were who? They were actually bloodline Jews.
Right.
Bloodline Jews who were following after the customs of the Gentiles.
Never put my trust in a pig-eating pastor. Never kept the Sabbath, but he looking for the rapture. Studied for myself, had to read through the chapters. I left the Christian church and caught ghosts like.
Preach to the Jews and then the Gentiles.
Okay.
So.
Okay. I see where you're going. That's a great question.
Yes, sir.
So give me Gentiles. Gentiles. All right.
The Bible Dictionary, Gentiles. Usually, it means a non-Israelite people.
So now, the definition is, that's a very unique definition because it says usually. Now, when I say the word usually, that means sometimes it could be and sometimes it couldn't be.
Right.
But usually it is a non-Israelitish people. But there are certain stipulations. Give me that in, I want 1 Corinthians 12. In this case, in 1 Corinthians, I'm gonna show you an example where the Gentiles do mean that they are Israelite people.
Right.
It's just their state of mind wasn't right. And they were acting like those of the Gentiles. Watch this, read that.
1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 2.
Bring it up.
Ye know that ye were Gentiles.
So now, if I can't never say, you know what, I was a black man. No, I'm a black man. I'm always gonna be a black man. I'm black, right? I can't change that. But these people changed who they were. How could you possibly used to be a Gentile? I'm going to show you who they really are. Hold this, go to the 10th chapter, read the 4th verse. Watch this.
1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 4.
Bring it up.
And did all drink.
Sorry, start at 1.
Verse 1. Moreover, brethren, I would not that ye should be ignorant. How that all our fathers, meaning our actual ancestors, our fathers, read, were under the cloud, and all passed through the sea, and were all baptized unto Moses in the cloud and the sea.
So now, all of their fathers came from where? From Egypt with Moses.
Right.
Showing that these Corinthians, they all have what? Common ancestry back going to the Jews that came out of Egypt. Showing you that these people who were Gentiles in the 12th chapter were who? They were actually bloodline Jews.
Right.
Bloodline Jews who were following after the customs of the Gentiles. Give me that one in Ephesians. You know what I want? Read that.
Ephesians chapter 2, verse 11. Wherefore remember that ye being in time past Gentiles in the flesh, who are called uncircumcision, by that which is called the circumcision in the flesh made by hands.
So they used to be Gentiles because in the flesh they did things that the Gentiles did.
Right.
Not only because they were uncircumcised, but they also worshipped idols. Go back to 1 Corinthians 12. And read verse 2, because it tells you that it was idols involved. When we follow the gods of the other nations, which is the primary issue God always had with the Israelites from the beginning to the end, it's always been idolatry.
Right.
Following other gods, because God is what kind of God? He's a jealous God.
That's right.
Right? So read that real quick. Read it again.
1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 2.
Yep.
Ye know that ye were Gentiles, carried away unto these dumb idols.
So by them worshiping those dumb idols that the Greeks had set up, that the Romans had set up, right? They were looked at as Gentiles by the true believers of God and by God, right? But they weren't actually bloodline Gentiles. They were from the bloodline lineage of those men and women who came out of Egypt. They came from that lineage. But what did they do? They strayed away from the traditions of their fathers. Now, when you read in the Apocrypha, the book of the Maccabees, it goes deep into that. It shows what happened. They came with the Olympics, they came with the sports, and all our people got enticed with that. You know, our people, we love sports, right? Even to this day, our people know more about sports and stats than they do about what's going to save them.
Right.
Colossians 2, verse 8. Colossians chapter 2, verse 8. And bro, I'm telling you, the script, Christ said, I'm gonna take one of a family, right? It's no coincidence that your family kept moving and you stayed, because that's how God does.
Right.
I'm the only person in my family that came to the knot. All of them are still doing Christmas, doing all that type of stuff when I came out of it. Why is that? Because God chooses. Whoop, I'm gonna take him, I'm gonna take him. That's how it works. That's why Abraham had to leave from his family. When you read in Genesis, they said, get away from your family, get from thy people.
Right.
And so I can show you the land that I'm gonna give to you and your ancestors. I'm gonna start dealing with you on another level.
Right.
Leave these people behind. Now, read that.
Colossians chapter 2, verse 8.
Read.
It up.
Beware, lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit.
Now, our people have been spoiled, meaning ruined, trashed, through philosophy and vain deceit. A lot of religion today, especially in Christianity, which is the main religion in the earth, there's a lot of philosophy and things in that religion that is not based upon the Bible. There's a lot of paganism incorporated into Christianity. And I'm sure you already know that, right? Read.
After the tradition of men.
And these things come from man's tradition. Read.
After the rudiments of the world, and not after Christ.
Because Christmas doesn't come after Christ.
Right.
Thanksgiving doesn't come after Christ.
Right.
Easter doesn't come after Christ.
Right.
4th of July doesn't come after Christ. We were still slaves when they were celebrating their independence.
Right.
But yet we want to barbecue and celebrate on that day. That's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Read.
Verse 8. Beware, lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the tradition of men, after the rudiments of the world, and not after Christ.
So now, we have to do everything after the manner of Christ, right? If it's not written, we're not doing it.
Right.
If it's not written in the Bible and it's not given to us as instruction, we're not doing it.
Right.
If it's forbidden in the Bible, we're not doing it.
Right.
What is a nation? Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is men leading by example. Nation is women's support. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity.